Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Branding and Cash Flow with Deanna and Grace. As always, if you are in the position to, please turn on your camera so that we can see your shining, smiling faces. And as always, if at any time you have a question or thought, you can either wave your hand if your camera is on, and if your camera is not on, not to worry, you can either click on participants. From there, you will see a small blue hand that says raise hand. You can click on that. And as always, you are more than welcome to type your questions and thoughts in the chat. Now, without further ado, I am going to present and introduce to you our speaker for the evening of Branding and Cash Flow. This young lady has a purple shirt on. She is also the COO of the ATSJR companies, as well as the CEO of the D. Marie Group. Always has the fro working and tight. And she is one of my best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Miss D. Marie, Deanna Mitchell.
Thank you. Thank you kindly. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that amazing introduction. Tonight, we're going to talk about brand trust. With everything going on, and ladies and gentlemen, I am going to repeat some of the things that you've heard us teach, but I need you to understand during these times, brand trust is more important than ever. Brand trust, defined by Shadhuri and Holbrook in 2001, is the willingness of an average consumer to rely on the ability of the brand to perform its stated function. Brand trust reflects a consumer's expectation that a brand's product, service, or more broadly, corporate behavior reflects the promises the company has made. What does your brand say? How are consumers viewing your brand? Can they trust your brand? Especially during a time where it's kind of hard to trust anything that's going on because there's so many different perspectives that are out there. It's hard to trust which one should I listen to, which one should I trust. So brand trust is extremely important. Can your consumers trust your brand? Can they trust your product? Can they trust your service? And can they trust your corporate behavior? We've had an abundance of examples of corporate behaviors across the board since everything has started. Since the pandemic has started from the beginning, from last year in November up until today, we've seen corporate behavior reflected across an abundance of different organizations, companies, whatever you choose to view. There has been a difference in the behaviors, a difference in the services, and the difference in the products. We've heard of some brands that we trust that have fallen, some brands that we didn't even know of starting to come up. But truly and honestly, what is the level of trust that your consumers have in your brand? Now's the time to ethically move forward in pushing your business. But when you do it, when you start branding, when you start marketing, your brand trust is going to be extremely important. So I'm going to give you 8 ways to make sure that you build and establish brand trust with your consumers. Be a resource. You hear us telling you this, but look at what's going on. More than ever before, there are so many more people online. They're searching, they're looking for books to read, they're looking for products to consume, they're looking for things to learn, they're looking for so many different things. But most importantly, they're looking for something of value. A lot of them are in positions that they never thought they'd be in before. A lot of them are stuck in the house, going crazy, ready to cuss people out, put people out, do whatever it is. They are tired. The kids driving them crazy, spouses driving them crazy. They driving themselves crazy because they sitting staring at a computer or a TV all day. They want to get out of their house. They want to resume normal, everyday living activities, but they cannot. So what kind of content are you providing for your consumers? Are you just going at them saying, okay, now that you're home, buy this? Or are you giving them tips on how to handle being at home? Are you giving them different tips on how to organize their home in a way that there's a feng shui for them and their family? Are you giving them tips on how to create different things because there's a shortage in certain things? Like, are you adding value? Are you giving free consultation services in your content? Are you giving away free education in your content? Like, what are you doing with your content? Are you adding value to them, or are you trying to pull from and add to the stress they already have? Be a resource. Antonio literally sent his entire team like 3 documents of how-tos with like DIYs from home, how to make candles, how to make masks, how to do all the things that are becoming they're becoming what's the word I'm looking for, Grace? When things they're starting to disappear. It's right. It's like it's right there on the tip of my tongue, and it will not come
Scarce.
out. Thank you, Phil. Thank you so much. It was literally right there on the tip of my tongue. Are you providing your consumers a resource for things that are becoming scarce? Like, what are you doing for your consumers? Be a resource. The second thing you need to do is actually have a conversation. Like I said, some of the things you heard us say before, I'm going to repeat because more than anything, it's more important now. Engage in a two-way conversation with them. Don't just tell them something and don't actually communicate. Like, let them conversate with you. Antonio has a fan phone. He actually has conversations with everyone to a point where he understands and knows his audience. So he knows what's hurting them. He knows what's going on. He knows what's going on in their private lives probably even before their friends, because he pays attention. He listens to them. He communicates with them. So are you actually having a conversation with your audience, or are you just telling them to do stuff, and when they say something, you're like, oh, great, woohoo? Or are you saying, man, you know what, that's really great. I'm excited for you. You know, if there's any way I can help you, do you have any questions? Is there something that I can assist you with? Engage your customers in two-way communication. Actually talk to them. Let them know that during this time, it's not affecting you, that you still care about them. Not about their pockets, but them. Ladies and gentlemen, you're building brand trust. So what's the best way when you ethically move forward, when you start ethically promoting your business during this time, you're building brand trust. So what's the best way to do it during this time? And if you're so worried about polling your audience, guess what? About 95% of your audience is now sitting in front of a computer or on their phone or in front of a smart TV. So now is the best time to ethically take advantage of what's going on and actually talk to them. Now that they don't have to deal with decision fatigue, they don't have to de-stress from a long day of work, they don't have to prepare themselves for a long day of work, they don't have to, there's a lot of things they don't have to do now. So now you can actually talk to your audience and find out what they really want, what's hurting them, what do they need, what problems do they need to be fixed, and how can you fix it? This is now the perfect time to do it. And guess what? And guess how you can do it? You can host live events. We tell you guys this all the time. Don't create content, document. Go live, host a live event, do a webinar, do something. Do something and get involved with your audience. Let them get involved. And the greatest thing about having a live, move past. Woosah with me, everybody. And move past, I'm afraid to be in front of a computer. Move past. When I get in front of a camera, I get scared, I get nervous, I need you to understand something that's extremely important now. It was important then, it's even more important now. Everybody's at home. Everybody's at home. Do you realize the influx, and please let me know if that's a correct word, Grace, the influx of, making it worse. Do you realize the increase of viewers you're going to receive because everybody's at home? That you can actually host a live event and have someone on there that's going to ask questions because they're home, they're bored. Nobody, you appreciate you. Nobody can sit there and have a conversation with their teenagers. You are parents too. You know how it feels to sit there and try to have a conversation with kids, period. From the moment they can talk to the moment that you wish they wouldn't talk. You know how it is. So you have adults who are used to having conversations with other adults stuck in the house with their spouse who is, we not even gonna get into that because now everybody's under one roof. Everybody has to get to know each other because we spend so much time apart. They don't feel like it. So what are they going to do? They're going to find a way to distract themselves from what's currently going on in their lives. So why don't you host a live event to help them distract themselves? And it doesn't necessarily have to be an educational event. It can be just a, while you're at home, join us live. And just and when you go live, hey everyone, we're just here just to have a conversation today. How are you doing? How is everything going? What are some of the struggles that you are currently facing? Let's talk this out amongst each other. Maybe we can help each other because currently this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm faced with. I have a 5-year-old who for some reason thinks every time I'm in front of the camera, he knows I'm teaching, but feels the need to want to come over and hug me. And while he's doing it, leans over and smiles into the camera. What are you dealing with? You may have somebody say, look, I really need to get out of the house. Yes, sir.
Can I be his agent?
Hey, you know what? You still can't feel. I don't want to be a momager. I've thought about it. I don't know about that.
Yeah, if he's got that natural tendency, he's got a gift. So let's be an agent. I'm a little bit a piece of his action.
All right. We will work that out. We'll work that out. When he was younger, you would stick a camera in front of him and he would pose. And I was like, where is this coming from? So yeah, we'll talk, Phil. We'll talk. But on these live events, what if you have someone that's actually struggling? And they're like, I don't like being alone and this is driving me crazy. Not only that, I lost my job because the position I had, the company, because of everything going on, they had a decline in income. So they had to let some of us go. So now I'm sitting here in my home by myself with no income, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I'm going crazy. Now they have somebody to interact with. Now they have somebody to talk to because I'm sure there's other people that will be on that live call that will feel the same. So get past your nervousness and focus more so on building your brand trust. If your brand is a type of brand where you just host a random live event just for your audience to have fun and enjoy themselves, you will exceed your customers' expectation because that's not an extremely expected thing. I mean, think about it. You have music artists hosting actual concerts from their homes via Instagram Live, IGTV. So why can't you do the same thing? Why can't you just, say, hey, look, we're about to have a watch party. We're going to watch this movie. And just let your customers get involved. If you want to do a huge, elaborate event, power to you, go do it. But if you just want to just have something random that your audience can just sit back, relax, and be like, then just go live randomly. And then another way live events build brand trust is because your audience knows that if they ask you a question and you answer it off the cuff, it's literally coming from you. It doesn't have a stamp of approval from anybody. So it literally just comes off the cuff. And because they understand that, they know that you're being truthful with them. It's not scripted. It's not approved. They don't have there's not a certain question that you can ask. They're not being directed, oh, you can only ask these kind of questions. It's none of that. So they know they're getting raw footage. They're getting raw answers off the cuff, and they'll respect that. That helps build that brand trust. So far we've said be a resource, have a conversation, host live events, or go live. The fourth one is stay consistent. Stay consistent. If you're going to tell your audience we're going to be live once a day, be live once a day. If you are extreme left, stay extreme left. If you're extreme right, stay extreme right. Whatever those definitions mean to you, I'm just using them as examples. If you're going to be extreme up, stay extreme up. If you're going to be extreme down, stay extreme down. If you're going to be hot, stay hot. Now you get it. Don't be lukewarm. Don't be in the middle. If your brand is consistent with motivating people, this all being all, as we call it, warm and fuzzy and sprinkles and unicorns and rainbows, stay that way. Be consistent. Don't be unicorns and rainbows one day and the next day you're the devil with the pitchfork burning up. Be consistent with who you are. If you confuse your audience, you confuse your money, period. I see your face, Grace. Think about it. If your audience doesn't know what you're gonna be from one day to the next, how can they trust that they can give you their money? Yes, sir, Mr. Phil.
Right. When people are confused, one thing you can count on, they do nothing.
Yeah, I love how Phil comes in and give you these one-liners and it punch you dead in your jaw. You be sitting here like, you so right. When people are confused, they do nothing, which means they're not spending money either. You can't build trust with them if you're inconsistent. So be consistent. Unconfuse your audience so they will actually do something, i.e. pay for a program, or i.e. download an ebook, or go or eat, just not even spend money with you, but talk about you to their friends and family. Spread the word. That warm, that word of mouth marketing, yeah, you miss out on that when you don't have consistency, because they don't know what to tell people about you. One minute they love you, and the next minute they don't know what you're doing. I mean, think about it. Friendships, relationships, when you crazy about somebody, oh my God, he's so wonderful. Oh my goodness, it's so great. And then something happened. It's the same. Oh my goodness, she's so wonderful. She's so great. And then they do something to completely confuse you. You sitting here like, and people ask you, so how's it going? You be like, man, I don't know. So do you want your audience doing the same thing? One minute they brag, and next minute they like, man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Last post I saw, man, I don't know what to tell you. Or do you want them to, every time somebody asks, man, yeah, Antonio's always posting. If you ever need any information, man, he posts all the time. I don't know what to tell you. Just go on his page. Just go on his page. All you gotta do is, if you just go on his page, you'll find everything you need to find. Or do you want them to be like, man, I don't know. They posted something like 3 months ago and I hadn't seen anything since. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So be consistent. The next thing, that was 1, 2, 4. So we're on number 5. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. The next thing you want to do is encourage your consumers to generate content for you. Let them do it for you. If you Antonio has actually had people generate content for him. I've seen someone take one of his videos that he did, shared on their page, and do this drawn out writing. And I'm sitting here like, man, that is crazy. And at the end of it, you watch the video. That is word of mouth marketing at its fullest. Encourage your audience to generate content about your business. And if you're consistent, you don't have to worry about what kind of content they're going to generate, because you're consistent and you consistent in everything. Remember, I said brand trust reflects a consumer's expectation that a brand's product, service, or more broadly, corporate behavior reflects the promises the company has made. So if you have built brand trust, you should not be worried, afraid, scared, about what your audience generated content is going to be. Now understand, not everybody is going to like you. That's okay. That's how the world functions. You'll have people that hate you just because it's something to do. But everybody's at home. If you want to involve them and you actually have a conversation with them, and they say, hey man, I would really love to post about your business because I really enjoyed it, and especially when you did this, you know what, go ahead. Feel free, just tag me in it. Just tag me. Like, don't make like, oh, do it and tag me. Don't do it. That. Be like, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. You know what, and when you do it, if you can do me a favor and just tag me in it, because I want to make sure I find it, because I want to make sure I go in and I comment on it and I like it. And I share it with my audience, and I share it on my page. If you make it a cohesive work type of thing with your audience, they will love to generate content for you. And I always go back to Wendy's. That's a brand we trust and love to follow, because they communicate with their audience. They don't mind their audience generating content for them. They will go and comment on it. And if y'all have never seen a Wendy's comment, just please go on Twitter. Please. It's the greatest ever. It's the greatest. It really is the greatest. I can't put it, the rolling on the floor, laughing your butt off, that whole acronym, it rings true when it comes to Wendy's comments to people, period. It just rings true. But they also encourage their audience to generate content too. Starbucks' audience generates content. So encourage your audience to generate content. This helps build brand trust, because if somebody else is talking about you and you're not just talking about yourself, what does that do for your brand? That is definitely word of mouth marketing. And they have people that probably don't even know who you are. Yes, sir, Mr. Phil.
You want to hear a great Wendy's story?
I would love to.
Wendy's started in Columbus, Ohio. And I had an opportunity to go work for them when they opened up their second store.
Wow.
I was 19 years old. So I had a chance to go to work with this restaurant named after this girl in red pigtails, or start my own restaurant. Guess what I did? Started my own restaurant.
Sweet.
Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Now, the lesson I learned there, I knew how to manage a restaurant. I had no idea how to own a restaurant. Big difference. But yeah, I had a chance to work for Wendy's when they opened up their second store.
Awesome.
Oh well.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Philly. You said something that I really hope everybody caught. There's a difference between owning and managing. There is a difference. When you own something and when you manage something, it is two completely different mindsets. So encourage your audience to generate content. The next one, 6. Thank you, Grace. Number 6. When you're sharing information, share trustworthy information. When you are sharing resources, when you are being resources and you're sharing links and posts and things like that, please make sure that it comes from a trustworthy source. It's currently dated. And it's not just gossip. Like, do your research first before you post it. Because mind you, your audience is trusting you to give them the right kind of information. They're trusting you to share with them what's right. And if they are super fans, they will trust every word you believe. And nobody wants to look like a fool in front of their people. So if you share something with them and they go back and they share it with somebody else and that person's like, dude, that's not true. Like, that's not a viable source. And they're like, well, no, Grace told me. And they're like, you sure she got it right? So now it starts to wobble on that brand trust. And then they're going to go back to Grace and be like, well, I heard da 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 da. Grace is going to be like, well, I sent you the link. But if you do your research, I'm not saying Grace has strong brand trust, everybody. Strong brand trust. But think about it. How many times have you had somebody share something with you? Greatest example of all, you find out a major artist or actress or actor passed away. You heard about the tragic death of so-and-so, but you found out through it from a source or a link that somebody shared on their page, and you went and saw it. You never questioned the source. You never questioned the link. You just believed it. Only for that person to find out later that what you posted was not true. That their favorite actor, actress, or artist is still alive. Now, so you have to be careful, because not only do you break brand trust, but you also make people question your integrity. And then you have them feel some kind of way, because celebrities to some people are their gods and goddesses. So if somebody put out there, I don't want to say that. If somebody says that your favorite, the artist, actor, actress that you looked up to, the one that helped you through the hard times, pass away, you're devastated. It was like when some people found out Aaliyah passed away. There were a lot of people that were devastated behind it. You had people crying only to find out that it wasn't true, but you were the source. That would break, because now they won't trust anything that you post. You could be posting something that's extremely valuable to their life, that will save their life, and they will not trust it, because the last time that they looked at something that you sent to them or a link that you posted, it was not true. So make sure what you're posting is trustworthy. Make sure it's current. It's from a trusted source. If you like, just make sure, because you want to make sure that you keep a strong brand trust with your audience. The next thing you want to do, number 7, got it this time. Next thing you want to do is encourage your users to leave reviews. Encourage your audience to leave reviews. Like, hey, if you don't mind, just go ahead and click on that part right there and just go ahead and leave me a review. I would really be grateful for it. Encourage them to leave reviews. More people, you read more bad reviews than you do good reviews, because we would rather share negative energy information faster than we share positive. We don't say anything about something positive, but when it's negative, we out there, we quick, it spread like wildfire. So encourage those super fans, encourage those who have trust in your brand to leave a review. So for those who do come by and read it, they're like, man, they have a lot of people saying positive things about this brand. Like, you have some people that will not purchase until they read the reviews. So if you have 2 good reviews, 10 bad reviews, but you keep hearing how everybody loves your product, how does your brand look to the person that's looking at you, that's looking at your internet fingerprint? They're seeing 2 people who like you, other people, more people who don't. And that's it. So your internet fingerprint does not look so good to them. So encourage others to leave good reviews. And what this will do is it will encourage others to actually try your product out. And then number 8, the final one. Please behave. Make sure your brand is acting responsibly. If you are a family brand, don't post pictures of you with a beer and y'all, you know what I'm trying to say. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the face of your brand. Whether you like it or not, if you have associated your brand in any shape, form, or fashion with your name or your face, people are not just going to look at your business pages. They're also going to look at your personal social media pages. So when I say behave, I'm not referring to just your brand, just your company. I'm referring to you out of business. Because people are going to look at you and they're going to say, well, if they act like that when they're not, how do I know that they are? Like, if you on one page you are, and this is whether you are on internet, off internet, you don't know who has a camera on you, you don't know who's watching you. You have a pet lover site where you're all cuddled up with the little puppy, little puppy. My favorite are the pomskis, the husky Pomeranian mix, and they're like about that big, and they look like a big fur ball just running around. They're so cute, and you're all cuddled up with one. And then next thing, but on your personal page, I see you with 15 dogs tied up in your backyard, and it's raining outside, and not one of them has shelter nor food. And I'm sitting there, I'm going to question you, like, you on this page, you say you love animals, but over here you got 15 dogs tied up in your backyard with no shelter, and it's raining. So behave. And that's me giving a PG version of it. Not everybody needs to know what your Saturday attire looks like when you go out to the club, okay? And then you show up on your business page suited and booted, looking cute. I'm just saying, y'all. Behave, please. Because it attacks your brand trust. If somebody can't trust you when you're not representing your brand, how can they trust you when you are representing your brand? And that's what it boils down to. So brand trust is what we talked about tonight. And again, brand trust reflects a consumer's expectation that a brand's product, service, or corporate behavior reflects the promises that the company has made. So in that, make sure that you're a resource. Make sure you're having conversations. Go live. Be consistent. Encourage your audience to create their own content. When you are being a resource, make sure it's trustworthy information from trusted sources. Encourage your audience to leave their reviews and behave. Thank you so much for joining us for Branding and Cash Flow. Grace and Deanna and Grace. The floor is, the song is in my head now every time I do it. The floor is now open for anyone who has any questions or any comments. The floor is open.
Lon said he worked hard on that Saturday outfit. I just wanted to let you know that.
But it matches his brand. If you look at Law's brand, it matches him. There is consistency there. So keep working on your Saturday outfits, Law. Keep working on them. So does anyone else have any comments, any questions?
Hey, Deanna, this is
Yes.
James.
Hey, James, what's going on?
This was a good class that I almost missed, and I'm glad I'm here because it just made me realize I know I'm an extremist, but I play both sides of the field. Now I need to figure out which side of the field I want to be on with effortless gold. It's torn between inspiration and being a goody two-shoes, and it's also the other extreme is being rebellious. But the rebellious is like the attitude side. So it's like finding a fine line of inspiration with attitude. I think it kind of solves my own problem there, but that's what it comes down to.
Also, James, do me a favor and study Antonio's site.
Which one? The actual website?
His social media.
Okay, gotcha.
Study
Yes.
it. Because just study it. And I encourage anyone who is struggling with how to mesh their brand, study Antonio's social media. Not just his social media. If you are here, you are also a part of one of the many programs that he offers. Pay attention. Because if you are part of the ATS Business University, you don't just have access to the ATS Business University. You also have access to real estate. You also have access to personal development. You also have access to the laws of money, the laws of wealth. Pay attention. Literally open your eyes and pay attention to what Antonio's doing. So if you're trying to figure out how to merge or how to really, if you're more than just one thing and you don't know how to do it, you don't need 50 million companies. Just brand you. Antonio does that all the time. So that's why I'm saying study his page. And Antonio just posted, he said, his secret, my public life is also my private life. So I never have to worry about you seeing me off brand. He's always on brand. If you have spent time, yes, sir, Mr. Phil. Oh.
No, finish your sentence. If you have spent time.
If you have literally spent any type of one-on-one time with Antonio, if you've sat in the office with him, you know that what he just said is true. How he is on camera is how he is off camera. How he is on brand is how he is off brand. So there's no confusion. Yes, sir, Mr. Phil.
Yeah, you have taken my 4 A's, which talks about creating loyalty. I talk about there's 4 A's in loyalty, and you've gotten my 4 points, but you made it 8. Point number one, you got to be accurate. And for you, that was behave and be trustworthy, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you screw up, and you will, you have to be fanatical about superior recovery to the extent that the client is happy that you screwed up for what you did to make up for it. And then I say to my clients, what can we do has low cost to the organization and high perceived value to the customer when you screw up? Admit that you screwed up and say you're sorry. A lot of people have trouble with that. But that's the most easiest and cost-effective thing you can do when you screw up. Number two, you got to be available. It's a 24/7 world today, and if you're not available when someone thinks they need you, they are a click, literally a click away from somebody else. And you said available, be a resource and stay consistent. That was your availability. Number three, you got to create an alliance. In other words, the client needs to know you see the world through their eyes. Or as Eric Burden says, oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Do, 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 do. And that's help them create content for you and have a conversation. And then last, advice. The Ohio State University raised $1 billion from their alumni and they gave them nothing for it. Well, when somebody gives you advice, even when you pay for the advice, you want to reciprocate and you want to help them. And your advice is being trustworthy and leave reviews. So you fit right into my 4 A's, your 8 points. They definitely overlap. So very, very good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Phil. Okay, so Charmant had a question. You mentioned to create content, for example, how to live at home. What if that is different or inconsistent with your original branding or message? You're only going to do what's within your original branding or message. For example, thank you, Maya. For example, if you're going to talk about staying at home or how to live at home, discuss it within what you do. So how to create your own healthcare products while living at home, or how to live at home, or how to be quarantined and still stay so fresh and so clean. I don't know why that came out, but it did. I'm so sorry, y'all. So you can do it that way. You can, how to live at home and create because some places they're truly quarantined. They can't go out. They can't do anything. So if they didn't stock up, they stuck out. So if you can say how to live at home and create your own healthcare products, or your own, and create your own healthcare products, how to live at home and make your own deodorant, how to live at home and make your own body soap, how to live at home and make your own lotion. Still incorporate it with what you're doing, but also let them know. Now, if you just want to be like, okay, look, I know this is not, and you can let them know, you can do a disclaimer. I know this is not something that normally comes from my brand, but with everything, and this is how you capitalize on what's currently going on. This is how you would capitalize on anything. I know this does not fit my current brand, everyone, but because of what's going on, I just wanted to reach out and check on my audience. How are y'all doing? Let's talk about how to live at home during these times. So you can also disclaimer it to let them know, hey, I just want to help y'all. And you can still do it that way too. I see you just put appreciate in the chat. So, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. So if we don't have any more questions or comments, we do have how to have fun while getting paid to speak with Phil and Susan Sorrentino coming up in 15 minutes. Life is often not on board with our brand, but our brands must always be on board with life. Antonio T. Smith Jr. Thank you, boss man. That was, yeah. You see you and Phil with these one-liners. Yes, sir, Mr. Phil. I actually see your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you have trouble getting people to talk to you about what's going on, these 6 questions are helpful. With this problem that we're going to, and the stuff about staying home, What do you think you should continue to do and why? What's working right now? And why is that working? What do you think you should stop doing? And why? And what do you think you should start doing? And why? And that's a way to get people to think about their situation.
Yes, Phil, if you can repeat those for us one more time, we're going to type those in chat.
Excuse me, I had to get a drink of water.
No worries.
And with this situation, I'm trying to call people and see what we can do to help them. And what's working right now? And then let them talk. Well, we're spending more time with the kids, and we're really getting our diets together. Yeah, we're learning how to exercise at home, whatever that is. What's working right now? And why do you think that's working? And what should you stop doing? Is there anything you're doing that isn't working for you? And why do you think it's not working? And then what do you think you should start doing? And why do you think that? So it's just a way to help facilitate the conversation.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Phil. I got them all in. I got all of what, why. Got it. All right, James, they are in the chat for you now. Thank you. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right. So do we have anyone else who has any questions, any comments? I just want to repeat what Antonio said earlier. Life is not.
Deanna.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm over here burning up trying to get this out. It's so irrelevant. I want to say it before you say the important stuff.
Okay, go
You said
ahead.
something about so fresh and so clean. You said that. The only thing in my head is this. So
fresh is so clean.
So
Look
fresh
now.
and clean.
Thank you so much, James. So I'm going to say this, and then we're going to end tonight's class from our CEO, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. Life is often not on board with our brand, but our brands must always be on board with life. Thank you all for coming out. Out of the words of our CEO, you can plant better, you can dominate. Thank you, everyone. For those of you who are Bureau members, we will see you in 12 minutes for having fun while getting paid to speak with Bill and Susan. All right, everyone have a good night.
Thank you.